Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're playing a modern league, which is a request for a viewer. Although I didn't need any persuading because it's literally my favourite modern deck. This is Kiki Chord. You may not be aware of this deck's existence because it's from the past, uh, kind of distant past. It's a creature combo deck named after Kiki Mirror Breaker, which is the primary win condition, and Chord of Calling, which is the sort of glue that holds it all together. So you've got a really sketchy four-color mana base, which I'm never happy with. Um, 8 accelerants, 4 birds, 4 nobles, and then a load of sort of core. Like the core is voice, eternal witness, restoration angel, Kiki. These 6 cards, and then pretty much everything else is a flex slot, so you can put whatever you want in. So I've gone for Giver of Runes to protect the combo, which has been excellent since it came out. And then you've got loads of silver bullets. Magus of the Moon is one of the most important. Deputy is really good. Night of Autumn has been good. Ooze is not great at Graveyard Hate, but it's main deckable. And then you've got better ones in the sideboard. Glenelender has been great. Zealous Conscripts is very important against Oko because you can gain control of a permanent, and Oko is oftentimes on 5 the turn after they get it because they will play it and then elk a food to keep it to block it because your attack, you have ground attackers. So Zealous Conscripts lets you do things like gain control of an Oko, -5 to kill said Oko, and then swap 2 permanents. Like you can give them a Birds of Paradise and claim an Urza or something. It doesn't always go that well, but that's a thing that can happen. So also Zealous Conscripts is an infinite combo with Kiki, so it's kind of like a 4th Restoration Angel. P and Kiran Nalar is basically for gumming up the ground against lots of attackers or for a bit of reach. It's also a combo-ish with Voice, because if you Eldritch Evolution to sack a Voice, even if you've got nothing else, the P and Kiran plus 2 Thopters plus the Elemental token means that you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 power at least. So that's kind of a thing. And then, yeah, Fibblethip for drawing cards. Wall of Roots is a interesting mana accelerant that you might not all be aware of. It's fantastic with Convoke. It effectively adds 2 on the turn that you're convoking. And you can sometimes use it like 3 times in one turn cycle because you might put a counter on it to play a Birds of Paradise on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn you can put another counter on it, convoke it, and convoke with the bird. So it's actually kind of giving you 4 mana, which is pretty awesome. The sideboard is a mixture of hate cards like Blood Moons and Chokes, some removal in the form of a Nahiri, which is also kind of part of the game plan because you can use the -8 to get your combo piece if you need a Kiki or whatever, and then some silver bullet creatures. So for graveyards we have Loaming Shaman and Jotun Grunt. For artifacts we have Collector Oof and obviously the main deck Knight. For land destruction we have Avalanche Riders, we have Eidolon of Rhetoric for Storm, we have Linvala, Keeper of Silence for basically specifically Urza, but then it kind of also shuts down elves if you happen to play against elves. And that's basically the deck. So we're going to take it for a modern league. Where's the league? There it is. Expectations are low, just to be clear. Let's not let's not write checks that our bad deck can't cash. We're not expecting to 4-1 or 5-0. I've been doing okay with it in paper, but I think that's because people don't know how to play against it. Like, I love playing it, so I play it in paper all the time. If I don't think any of my quote unquote good decks are well positioned for a tournament, which none of them are because I don't play Urza or Oko decks anymore. Well, ever. I've never played those decks, but the decks that I like are not good anymore, I should say, like Jund and Jeskai and Blue-White and stuff. So, yeah. If I go to an event now, I'll just play this because I'd rather have fun going 4-3 than borrow some miserable Urza pile. Probably still go 4-3 and hate what I'm doing and make enemies for life. Let's be clear, Urza players, you're making enemies for life. I don't want you to think that people are going to let you off. It's like the inner circles of hell reserved for betrayers, mutineers, and spikes. Cool, we have a new friend. Albert. I have a friend called Albert that plays Magic, but I doubt it's this one. This looks like a fairly easy mulligan. We're really looking for a mana dork. And this looks like a fairly easy keep, putting back the Kiki Chord, because you don't really want it in your hand. And then there's the old, which do I lead on? And I think the answer, as weird as this may sound, is usually Giver of Runes. Your go, opponent. Like, in a lot of decks, the Noble Hierarch mana matters a ton, but especially with the way our hand's shaped up, we lose Hierarch. I was going to say, we're casting Resto on turn 3 either way, but it's pretty bad for us, that Inquisition. So we're just going to fetch a tap land and attack for 1, because it can't protect itself like Mother of Runes can, so there's no point not using it. So I guess Blooming Marsh Inquisition implies like a fair deck, probably like actual Golgari, but we'll see. Sultai mid range, okay. Usually we're fine against mid range decks. I'm not going to say we always are, because that's just not true, but usually you're fine against mid range decks. I'm going to play the birds out, and I guess I'm going to keep the Giver back, because there's no point in attacking, and we can do something like block with bird and then give it protection from green. Okay. They're going to presumably elk my Giver. Give this pro green so we can block. Although they're probably not attacking anyway, because they probably want to protect their Oko. Especially now we've got pro green. What does that do? Pretty much nothing here. Yeah, I think the plan is to just Resto to turn our Giver of Runes back into a Giver of Runes. Though I suppose if they make a food, we can tag it with this. Maybe not. It's letting them turn my. It's letting them turn my Resto into an elk, which is sad. But these are kind of the exchanges that you make. They may just go for Giver anyway, of course. But I'm fairly certain something's getting elked. Yeah, they go for the combo piece, which is wise. And they make a goose. So I guess by virtue of being on the play, mulliganing, and them having an Oko, we're pretty far behind. So I guess we're playing this out. just attacking the Oko. There's no way I can think of offhand for them to grow the Goif, but if they do, we can give it pro-green. Okay. Pro-green for the... another one of Chris's pop culture deviations. Pro-green is what some people call Professor Green, who was a British rapper about 10 years ago. He seems to have died a death, but he was considered good at one time. Well, we have many elks now, which I guess is helpful. And they do appear to be lacking a bit in gas, which is also helpful. It's going to attack the Oko. Standard procedure, same as last turn. This time it may draw a chump block from one of the geese or something. We'll find out, I suppose. We're not drawing very well anyway, but that's fine because the opponent's also a bit mana heavy, so I don't really get to moan. Not that that ever stops me. Come on, Albert. Frickin' out. This is classic Albert, I swear. So the biggest problem that could come up here is if they have an instant to put in the graveyard and make their Goif into a 4/5. They do not, so they are jumping, which we're fine with. And I'm going to play this out because we might need the mana for convoking a big chord, and they might Inquisition or Thoughtseize us. There's no sort of upside to it. I imagine they'll sack this. Or maybe not. Just valuing having the extra foods, which don't seem relevant, but that's whatever. I suppose they are kind of relevant in so much as they're elks. Have a elk. I will block. I think. I'm not 100% that's correct, but yeah, I'll go with it. Might have been wrong actually, because it would have made a Restoration Angel a really good top deck for me, because you can target that even though it's an angel because it's an elk, if that makes sense. Balls. So threaten to kill Oko once more. This should get a block out of them in some fashion. Please don't have an instant. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I think I'll scoop there. We're not really coming back from that. So I haven't seen any Urzas. I think they're playing more like a Jundy game plan. This is tough, you know. I'm not sure how to sideboard. I guess we'd bring in non-creature threats, which we've got exactly one. I'll bring in Linvala. Fiery Justice can deal damage to planeswalkers. Yet to see a sweeper. Interestingly, they were not snow basic, so if they are playing a sweeper, it will be Damnation, but I suspect they're not playing a sweeper. Probably don't need Night of Autumn. Try this. I'm wondering whether I just want actual Blood Moons. Well, they've got Mana Dorks. I think I'll just keep with the one Magus for now. Like, their mana base does look vulnerable to moons, but at the same time, I'm not... One of the cool things about Kiki Chord is you can usually if you know the format, you can usually leverage that quite well. And I don't know what I'm playing against, really. I've seen like 10 cards that could be. It could be like an Urza build, but I don't think so. I've seen 0 Astrolabes and like Snowlands and stuff. That's one thing that's kind of telling, the lack of Snowlands. And I suppose the presence of the Goyfs, yeah, I'm fairly certain they're just like Sultai mid-range playing Oko as a good card. I don't think they're Shadow, because Shadow wouldn't play Blooming Marsh. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. I don't think I need Collector Oof, for example. We might change if we get to a game 3. Obviously, we might be dead long before. Usually, this deck is quite good against Jund and Abzan. I haven't played against Bug before, and I guess Oko does give them a new dimension that Jund and Abzan don't have, which is to neutralise your stuff without killing it, because you're quite good at getting things back from the graveyard. And between like the Tireless Tracker, the Eternal Witnesses, and the Voices and stuff, you're quite good at making resilient threats. This is a good hand if we don't get Thought Seized. Turn 2 Rallier, get back a land is always nice. Turn 3, then you have 5 mana for the Glenelendra with a blue up, which is also nice. They've kept 7, so I can't really assume they don't have Thoughtseize, but I suppose the great hope is that their turn 1 play is a Goose, which wouldn't matter. Here it comes. Let's see which they're more bothered by. Both are kind of equally good. They took the Rallier, which I think is probably correct. Not land. It's not a land. Resto is super good with Glenelendra. You can use Glen once and then flicker it and use it again 2 more times. It's also just, yeah, it's a decent clock in the air as well, like 5 points with flying. I think that's fine. I'll just fetch a Stomping Ground tapped, I guess. Yep. Goose. Yep. Hopefully we draw something we can play this turn, just to make sure we're not doing absolutely nothing. As you can see, we are doing absolutely nothing. so that's fun. Hopefully it's not Oko, but I guess that's fairly inevitable. And then they just make Elk. No, they make a food. Okay. I do not see any point in playing Glen just to get it elked, whereas now they've used their Oko for the turn, this Resto should be a reasonable ambush. I think I have to get Breeding Pool, which is painful but necessary. Look at this perfect mana base. I can cast any spell in the whole of Modern. Ah, they've got a Fatal Push. Rats. And we didn't get to block, so now we're on 10, which is bad. That's really good against Glenelendra. We can eat it when the persist is on the stack, for those unaware. I'm just going to do what my hand dictates I do. It looks a little bit underpowered here, to be frank. Hopefully we don't get a whole league of this. I've seen some like snapshots of recent modern metagames and data, and there's this like Sultai pile which is just Urzas and Primeval Titans and like all of the busted cards in a deck together. And it's fairly upsetting. Yep. Opponent is certainly doing their thing. Yeah, this is shit. God damn, that was a disappointing start. Apologies if you were hoping for better, but I'm sure we can do more in future games. Yeah, modern is a right state. Oh, the Urza deck I mentioned is also playing Field of the Deads. That's its like primary win con. So it sets up the kind of really fast Urza starts where you have all the 0 mana artifacts and you get to kind of ramp hard, and then you ramp into a Titan, and then you try to kill with Field of the Dead. I mean, can you imagine anything that's harder to disrupt and more boring to play against? It's very sad. Modern needs bannings big time. It needs like a big chunk of like 5 or 6 bannings. I assume this is an actual Hasbro employee. This hand is interesting because normally you don't want Kiki. I'm still mulliganing, but normally the reason you mulligan Kiki is because it's super hard to cast, but we did have the Violet Thicket there. I'm going to keep this. This hand is literally straight fire. Get rid of Giver, and I'm going to go all in on doing my thing. If that was a 7, I'd got to keep all of it. It would have been even better. Ah, we're playing against the boring deck. Excellent. Let's see how bored we can get. Oh, that's useless. I suppose it's a good one to sacrifice. So this is Bant Snow Control, which is actually slightly less boring. They're probably going to flash in a Ice Fang. I guess. Oh, it's a bit suspect showing them the Wall of Roots, because if anything gives away what we're doing, it's this exact card. I'm just going to pass. But yeah, it really does. We're practically yelling, look out for Chord of Calling, because there's no other reason to put this awful card in your deck. Yep. The good news is that half of their deck does nothing. The bad news is they have 4 Path to Exiles. We do, however, have the combo sewn up, don't we? So you never know. Take it. No real problem with 1 damage. I'm not sure which land to fetch out of Stomping Ground and Breeding Pool. Don't think it matters, and I guess I get Breeding Pool because I've seen the Misty. Make them think we're predominantly Bant. Might make them less suspicious of the Kiki situation. Well, if they tap out for something like a Jace the Mind Sculptor, we do just win the game. Which is interesting, but probably not going to happen. I think I have to go for the resto. Oh, yes. That is welcome. You may have it. Now the problem is that could be a path, that last mana. Which we can't do tons about. Do I have enough mana, actually? I'm 1 short to kill this turn, which sucks. I'm going to attack Oko. Because we're probably going to just get beaten up by Elks now. I don't know, if I play the Magus, maybe they have to... maybe they have to respect it and Elk that. Kind of looks like a path to me. It's a bit sad that we drew the Giver in that order. Like, the idea of having Giver to protect the combo would be, since it's, you know, significantly more comforting than not having it. I think a good player just Elks the resto here. But I suppose Giver and Magus are both really juicy targets as well. That's kind of the nice thing that's going on here. Wow. That seems bold, unless they've got another Oko. Or like 2 paths. Yep. You may have it. That's fine. I think we win if we draw a land. Oh no, do we just win? Yeah, we just win. Oh, yeah, because that's just a mountain, yeah. Green, green, whatever. Eldritch. Oh, Force of Negation is a thing. Okay. Give a birds. don't think I'm attacking because of the Death Touch blocker. The Force of Negation, I hadn't remembered that existed. I guess they just unsummon Resto now, do they? No, not yet, at least. I guess they're looking for information, or maybe they're just going to brainstorm because they've got a fetch. What can I do here that's particular? I can't do anything too busted now because I don't have a 3-drop to sack. I could Eldritch Resto into Woodland Bellower, which is pretty comical. Yeah, that doesn't seem to matter really. See what equipments they have. Feast and Famine is a good one. I think they've forgotten to use Jace. They should probably remember to use Jace. Fate Seal me, okay. Ooh. Witness is a good one. They have 2 cards. That implies that they're feeling, and we know one is Feast and Famine. They seem to be, the way they're behaving implies that they're feeling safe. Attack Jace. Oh. Oh, shit. I just realised I had everything. Okay. Green. Whatever. Ewit. Well, they got a mana leak. Ah, they're playing around Magus of the Moon. Maybe. Or is it Queller? Okay. So I can Eldritch this to get Deputy, to get rid of that, to get Ewit, to get something back. I kind of need to get something that won't be in my hand because of Sword of Feast and Famine. So what are my other options? Glenlendra with no mana up. Noble Hierarch doesn't seem very good. Deputy. Detain here. Witness gets cast. I guess I just have to get back a land. Because anything else will get discarded. And that's kind of the best that I can do. Getting a force on your hopefully game-winning tutor that you've had to sacrifice a thing for is quite upsetting. Might take me a while to emotionally recover from that. Let's see what they decide to do. Brainstorming makes sense, although they did just use all the fetch lands that we knew about, so hopefully they don't get a shuffle in somehow. Stoneforges are quite a good one to shuffle with as well. Moorland Haunt, that's an interesting one. Got no dead creatures, so it's currently just colourless mana. I'm not sure how Oko interacts with Deputy, as in if they elk it, and then the Deputy dies later, do they get their thing back? That I do not know. I'm fairly certain they should be playing and equipping the sword. Yeah. It doesn't make sense not to. You should probably equip it to the Astrolabe. Elk Stralabe, I suppose. And we're just going to take the 5. We've got nothing to discard, so it's not that backbreaking. Them untapping their lands doesn't really bother me because they've got 1 card in hand they can probably cast anyway. Most of their deck is cheap. It's probably a good card, though. We can reasonably assume that. Because they've just brainstormed. Interesting that they cast it rather than using Stoneforge, but I guess this way makes sense too because they've got like a pseudo vigilance blocker. Gonna go to 10 and fetch this. Balls. No sense keeping it in hand. Don't have anything to gain from attacking because I would trade here. And then my best blocker is dead. So we just pass. But this is another game where we're probably losing because we have creatures and they have Oko. It's kind of sad, isn't it, that like the ubiquity of 1 card invalidates an entire type. Though we did nearly steal this game. It was really close at one point. Now much less so. Let's see what Oko does. I suppose the argument is that I should be playing Okos because, you know, I have green and blue lands in my deck. And that's literally... Actually, the criteria is you usually just need green or blue, and then you add the other colour for the sake of having it. So if I do this, they get a naked Queller, but I think I'd rather just take 5 for now. We'll worry about that when we're dying. We've got some pretty good chump... Well, no, we don't have good chump blockers, do we? Because it's got pro-green. Yeah, we'll fetch again to thin, down to 4. Come on, Kiki off the top. Doesn't really help. Don't read voice. When people read voice, it just tells me they haven't played Magic for very long, because that card was like a big deal for a long time. And I haven't played Magic that long. Okay. I'm not attacking. I am recasting this. sword. Seems an odd choice from the opponent when the deputy was detaining something fairly harmless. Yep. I know I'm far from confident, but I think they may have just made a big mistake. Although, actually, no, if they elk this, then I'm chumping with bops, which is sad. But at least I can chump with them. They weren't blockers before. So I think the best thing they can do is to elk my resto, just so it's not in the air. That works too. And then what happens? They put this on the Queller. I have to chump with this. Yeah, that is lethal. So maybe I was wrong to think the opponent had punted. Maybe they hadn't punted. Choke's coming in. Magus goes. Here he's good. Don't think I want much else, which is a bit worrying. Maybe Collector Roof. And then I guess Staticaster is good against the Quattles. And then you don't really want Eldritch Evolution against counter spells. It's pretty brutal to get it countered, whereas Chord is a bit more versatile because you can cast it on your own turn or their turn or whatever. And I don't think I want a Wall of Omens. Most of their stuff flies and it isn't particularly beatdowny. Fine. It's kind of a weakish hand, but I'm assuming Fibblethip is going to rescue everything. That's his primary role in the Magic the Gathering lore. Plus the Waterlogged Grove is a redraw. Those two things will save me. Let's see what opponent's got. Probably a Noble Hierarch of their own, I imagine. They usually play like 8 accelerants. Yeah. That's bad. Come on, spell. Spell. That's a spell. That's a good one too. No Oko, that's a relief. I'm going to start on Voice. Probably going to get Quellered, actually. That's probably what this represents. Yeah, fair bit. Fair dues. So be it. That was what I was trying to say. Yeah, this is what it is, isn't it? So, I don't have any attacks, so I'm just going to pass. I wonder if they're going to tap out. For a Jace or something. Okay. Get the breeding pool. ooze, you say? That's probably good bait. Maybe they saw it for what it was, namely massively baiting them. Well, taste it. You're not going to get much more ferocious beatdowns than a Fibble Thip on turn 4. Yeah, that's fine. I assume we get hit for 3. Makes sense. Yep, that's pretty harmless. Ooh. Hopefully this will resolve. The reason I went for this over Nahiri is I actually really want Nahiri to resolve, and I'm hoping that they might have something like a Force of Negation. Okay. But can yeah, my feeling was if the only thing they've left up is a Force of Negation, then we might be able to protect ourselves. Yep. Well, I can afford to discard the Wooded Foothills at least. Yeah. Well, oddly, I'm glad they're attacking with that one, assuming. Well, they might just attack with all their flyers. But I'm glad that's tapped because it means I can minus Nahiri on it if Nahiri resolves. Oko is going to make that into an elk, I guess. Just create a food, that's fine. And by fine, I mean we're losing hard. Getting Glen is good. Can't lie, that's a bit of a relief. Just wondering if I should attack the Oko with Scavenging Ooze. It would only be an attack for 3. It would trade with the Ice Fang or deal it 3, I guess. I think that's probably still worth it. just exile that so they don't, you know, they're probably a Snapcaster Mage deck, not that we've seen any. Okay. That was like the first okay turn we've had this whole game. We really, really need to deal with the Oko and the sword. They're both very problematic. The creatures are not that much of a big deal, but any creature with that sword on is automatically scary. Fuck. Fuck me. I'd forgotten about that. Ugh. At least if they use it, it comes back on my side. But it means they can kill my Nahiri. Because they just, yeah. And then I'm not allowed to block because this is green. Or they might just kill me. I'm on 6. Yeah, they might just be able to kill me. They've got 5 points with the Exalted. Be interesting to see what they decide to do. I guess they have to go for Nahiri because then if they don't kill me, I can kill that. Why wouldn't it let me see? Yeah, they've gone for Nahiri. Seems sensible. Okay, that's really good. So if I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is that right? 7 mana, so it's enough to witness Nahiri and cast her. I guess I start by attacking Oko for 2. Should force some action. Probably try and block with my Glen, thinking that they get it and then I get it. That's what I hope. Try and block with the Goose. That's correct. I think we're just dead now. Actually, yeah, no, I think we are dead. But if I grab this and cast it, and then see if they might use the Glenlendra. Fetch, 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 fetch. Okay, so I get this back. And don't get my Nahiri. And that's what's happened. So I have 1 chump block if I need it. I guess I don't really, because they can just elk it. Yep. I can make a copy of a Fibblethip and see where that gets me. I think that's what I've got to do. Obviously, Kiki is a terrifying card, but like... Oh, fuck, Fibblethip's legendary. Fuck me. I guess we're attacking Oko and then losing the game. But if we get to kill the Oko, we get the moral victory. Oh, they've even got a... Ah! Damn it! This has been a frustrating league we've played against. Everything that's gone wrong in the back half of 2019. Ugh. Let's have an elkless round, please. We won the die roll. Got a solid hand. This hand is nice. If we get to keep it, let's not play against a Thoughtseize, please. If we don't have to play against the Thoughtseize, this hand is sick. Fucking hell. It never ends. It literally never ends. Oh, this is the Urza version. Let's get the, I guess, the Sacred Foundry. Look at the value. Oh, yeah. Let's see them beat that. That's more acceleration than they can do, probably. I had a game in paper on Saturday where I was playing against this deck, and I Zealous Conscript one of the engineered explosives on 0 that they run out for the sake of it, and it was like an 11 for 0 or something, because they had like 9, not 9, they had like 5 foods, 2 EEs, a bauble which they amusingly forgot to use, and like a Mox Opal and a construct or 2, and they tapped out of the ability to pop the EE in response or whatever. Not that it would have saved them. Shouldn't have used this now. Oh no, it's fine, it's safe. So they draw a card. That's a good one. We're going to hide that and hit them. This is going okay. We're like a creature tutor away from really going off. And the opponent is stumbling a bit, which is good. Sure thing, mate. What are you going to elk? One of your own things as a blocker, I assume. Well, I get to do the thing I enjoy. This is a cool play. Give me that. Tradesies. Nice. Finally, we're doing fun stuff. And look how good it is. This is why Zealous Conscript is in my build of the deck. I don't know why no one else is playing it. I think the card is gas. We've got super lethal on the crackback as well. X is 3. Okay, so they get these 2 if they get to untap. Or if they got a land. They've got a land. Oh, I have a sick play. I'm going to enjoy this. They're going to crack their fetch. I'm going to resto my deputy and take the EE, which will then come back in on 0. They have to chump block with their Emery as well. This is wonderful. That's how you Kiki Chord, kids. Finally, we got a good hand and we fucked them up. Yeah, bitch. Oh, we just needed a chance, you see. That's all we needed. Yeah. I don't know what the correct version to resubmit is, but we're going to start with this. That was a sick game. Sick game. I'm all happy now. Because fuck their stupid deck, and this hand is great. Oh, I'm perky. I'm all excitable. No amount of baubles can save you, opponent. You're going to have no mana. Oh, fuck. Sorry, Choke. You tried. Fucking hell. I want my Choke. It's alright. We can make it on turn 3 instead of turn 2 quite easily. Just by getting an E-Wit and then recasting it. Need to remember it's probably bad to it's probably bad to expose expose myself by getting a breeding pool, because I really do want this to resolve. I suppose that maybe I should just get off the choke plan, because they can fetch their non-islands and use astrolabes to filter. Probably. We'll see what kind of hand they've got. Okay, I think I'm just going to make some mana. And just hope they don't have an E on 1, basically, which I can't really beat. Time to deliver the beats. Taste my bird. I think the plan has to just be to combo them. We've got everything in hand. They're not doing much. I wonder if they have a Metallic Rebuke. Oh, it's a shame. That is a shame. I'm just going to run it out. It's nice and threatening. Might draw a counter. Nope. Okay. Another good thing about the tracker is it's a 3-drop, so you can Evo it for Kiki. If we draw land next turn, do we win? No, we'll be 1 mana short. That sucks. I also need to be conscious of Dead of Winter. Like, that card fucks me hard. That would be a horrible, horrible thing to happen. Ah, well, they do have... Okay, that I can live with. That is absolutely fine. I'm going to try and just win by normal beatdowns, I suppose. Like, they are down to 6. This is quite close to just killing them. Dead of Winter. Urza. Okay, that won't save you. I think we can win. I need to figure it out, actually. Can I win? Urza definitely isn't a problem. It's a case of... I think... attack for 5. Hopefully force a block. And if not, they go to 1 and then I can kill them with P and Kirin. Okay. Now my choices are... Again, Evo... Yeah, I think I'm just going to go get Woodland Bellower. Get Night of Autumn. Destroy this. And then go get Kiki, copy Woodland Bellower. Just absolutely pound them into the dirt. Yes! What a sick game! That's what we've been trying to do all fucking day. I might even have to edit this down to just show that match, because that's what Kiki Chord, this deck, can do at its peak. Obviously, it looked rather limp in the first 2 rounds. But yeah, we just absolutely browned them. Killed them to death, in fact. Cool. I love the amount of choices you have as well. YOLO. It's a good one-lander. Awful lot of 1-drops. Can you imagine if they have like a Pyroclasm? Or just an Engineered Explosives, which I guess is the Pyroclasm of 2020, isn't it? Well, I suppose we'll play the Selfless Spirit next turn. That seems reasonable to me. Ooh, a different deck. This is Prowess. Land, not land. Okay. Well, they haven't just killed my noble, which is good. Combo. Assembled. Do I just rush? It won't let me untap. Fuck. I changed my mind. I wanted to play the Selfless Spirit, and then I decided I wanted to just try and get the combo. And now I've blown it. So there you have it, kids. This is how not to Kiki Chord. You do not benefit from abandoning your decision making. Okay. Not a removal, not a removal. Okay, that's fine. They can deal as much damage as they want, as long as I get to keep my mana. I'll gladly take 5. Oh, don't lava dart me, bro. Oh, you bitch. You bitch. I'm taking 7 and I'm giving up all hope, and it's my own fault. Oh. Land. Okay. I have to do everything. I just have to hope to God that I don't die this turn. They even cut me on red by killing the bop. Savage. Even though everyone knows nobles are better. Like, oh, it's like they can smell the Kiki. Even though I don't think anything I've done so far is Kiki specific. Oh, I've punted this game. Yeah, we did. Because I can't, like, I'm not going to win if I chump block, so we just go to sideboards and suck it up. I think Jotun Grunt, this could be Jotun Grunt's time to shine. They put quite a lot in the graveyard quite fast. They have stuff that happens from the graveyard. Eidolon of Rhetoric could be a pain in the tits for them as well. Hopefully. I guess I bring in my only removal spells as well. And then I don't want anemic stuff and slow stuff. I guess Deputy's fine. Glenn's probably too slow. Pier's too slow. Actually, Pier might be useful. Bellowy Boy is probably too slow. Go like this. I would love to play first. Oh, how hard can I lean on the Fiery Justice? I think pretty hard. We'll give it a whirl. Fiery Justice does the business usually. So that has to be a stomping ground, I think. Interesting. That's fine. Can live with that. Anything that's not pointing directly at me. Kiln Fiend. Hello. Gonna kill that. Do I want... I'm not in a position to negotiate. Kiln Fiend is fucking terrifying. The one thing that is of some comfort about this deck is they do sometimes just whiff. Hopefully they might I wouldn't mind if they made one creature that I could, like a swift spear or something, attack with it. Okay. Well, I will be playing my ooze, I suppose. And then, yeah, try to eat their shit. They're going to bolt my ooze. Let's gain 1 life. I think they may have over sideboarded a smidge. Oh! That's interesting. Their hand must really suck. Yep. That is fine. Hopefully their hand is just like Warlord's Furies and nothing else. I'll feel good if I get to untap with my Nahiri. Okay, yeah. So I do indeed get to untap with my Nahiri. They're going to just deal 1 to her, and we should be good from here, I would think. It's a good one. Gain 4. Play a bird. Plus Nahiri discarding nothing because his hand is perfect. One pass. Oh, that was in their exile zone from the light up. I understand now. That's pretty good. And here he takes 2. Which isn't enough to kill her, thankfully. Pretty good, pretty good. This should be fine because the Lava Dart's not in the graveyard yet, so they can't flash it back to kill me witness. Obviously, we just block. Targeting me, yeah, you got it. That seems horrendous because Well, I suppose they don't know that I'm planning on using Resto. So they... Hang on, I'm trying to figure out what they've hit. It'll be these 2 Revelers. Fuck me. That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. Ooh. Oh. Oops. Oh, wait, let me not. I'll discard here. Ooh. Okay. Yep. So basically, I let Nahiri die and kill them with the combo. So they're emptying their hand because they're going to cast their second exiled Reveler, I assume. Maybe not. Maybe they don't want to, because that doesn't seem like the play you would make if you're going to cast this. If you ask me. Was their old hand trash? That was cast from their hand, not the exiled one. Wow. Weird, weird game. Hang on. I need to see what that Wild Slash is targeting. It doesn't seem to want me to see it. The Wild Slash is at Nahiri. Wild Slash resolves. Get back Selfless Spirit, I guess. That way I can go for the combo with protection. Don't care if Nahiri dies now. I'll just quietly go about winning the game. Hopefully they don't make me do this too much. Okay, cool. Well, that felt like a solid sideboard plan. And I don't plan on changing anything, so I'm going to resubmit. Yeah, I mean, it's a 1-drop into 2-drop, and the 2-drop is a fucking 0-4. Can't really ask for too much more, can I? It'd be better if it was a bit faster, a bit sort of... They might only have 1 land, because you don't normally lead on the pain lands if you don't have to. I'm going to just cast my Sacrificial Giver of Runes, which is likely to die. Okay. You may attack. I will not block. I think they just drew that mountain. interesting. Getting to untap with Giver is great. And they've exiled a Dismember. Okay. Yeah, like we're drawing pretty good, you know. I've had worse draws. We'll get them. We might not get them. I don't know. And the Lava Dart is targeting Giver. First one resolves. I assume there's another one coming. Yep. All of this happens. So that is a lot of damage. I think I'd maybe underestimated how dead I was. And now I'm in like, can I please get a decent creature off the top mode? Just give me like a Renegade Rallier. That would be amazing. Don't be massively good. That's pretty good. Rallier. It's not a Rallier. I think I'm dead. Because they will be hitting me for 6, and I don't think I can afford to block. Well, no, I probably can. Can and should. Ah, and this is a slow one. It's not a Swift Spear. I don't think it makes a difference which one I block. Yep. Actually, it was probably better to get the Swift Spear, because then a Deputy of Detention cleans both up. But I'm not too sure. Okay, that's game. GG's. So we lost 2-1. I'm going to play one more match. Try to rescue a 2-1, a 2-3, sorry, which would be frankly fine. Like, it's not like getting a 2-3 usually where you're slightly upset. It's just like whatever. It's best we could have hoped for. Deck's too fun to win. Like, you can't in modern at the moment, you can't have fun and win. That's kind of my beef with the format and why I stopped playing it. Like, I feel like you can have fun and win in lots of other formats, like Pioneer, Legacy, obviously Vintage Cube. Cool. Let's see what our last opponent's up to. Ivan. I guess. It's kind of unimpressive. But it is also kind of all you need because you can win from one chord of calling because you chord for Ewit, get back the chord for Resto, get back the chord by flickering the Ewit, and then chord for Kiki. So we have like mana and the kill in theory. Oh, this is more as a bullshit. I'm going to be pissed off. Might be Death Shadow. In that case, it's a bit less of a boring matchup. Oops. That could be good against Death Shadow as long as it doesn't immediately die. Yeah, this looks Death Shadow-ier more so than... Okay, yeah, Sultai Shadow. We know where we are now. Okay, they should take my chord if they know what's good for them. Correct decision. Not terrible. Bash them for 2 because we've got quite a lot of flyers. We might be able to sort of kill them with like an exalted resto if they take themselves too low. They do have an awful lot of cards in their hand though. Is this Oko time? It is. I assume they make a food. I don't really know. Maybe elk my voice? I was talking about this edition with... There's a guy called Ben Jones who's a well-known Death Shadow expert. And we basically are in agreement that the ability to just manipulate your own life total is insanely good in that deck. Like, it's obviously good anyway, but being able to lower it and raise it as you want, it's mega. I wonder if I should have gone for player then, but we'll see. Using deputy to manage the food is just because if I take the Oko, they'll just kill my deputy and I haven't gained anything. Whereas this way, if they want to make a chump blocker, they have to Oko a gain. You know, it takes 2 turns. Is what I'm trying to say. So that's a shadow, which is quite scary, but there's only one of them. Voice is a really good chump blocker because obviously you get a big, massive token out of it. Yep. Get my breeding pool. Okay. Well, They're on 6. I have 4 power. Ah! I'm going to sack this. Get my token anyway, so it's not too bad if it gets stubbed. I'm assuming there's a stubborn coming. No? Yes. Okay. That's fine, I guess. And by fine, I mean bad. So they might have Team of Battle Rage. They tend to play like 1 or 2. And if they do, I don't think I'm going to block in a way that beats Team of Battle Rage. I think I'm just going to chump with Fibblethip, to be honest. I don't think throwing away all my board is a winning line. So, yeah. Block in a way that leaves me dead to TBR. Don't have it, that's good. Okay. Restoration Angel or a way to search for it, please, deck. That counts. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. Okay, yeah, I'll just do it that way. That was a bit incorrect. Okay. Am I dead? Is the next question. Not really. Man. Stun denial. What a beating. It's the efficiency that kills you, because it's my whole turn and it's like a trivially small commitment from them to leave up 1 blue. But I couldn't chord for a small amount, it wouldn't have helped, so I kind of had to go for it. This will just be a trade because mine thing will be a 3-3, so it's not like I get to actually eat the food. And now the deputy is dead, it's much harder for me to deal with these 2 shadows. I suppose Eternal Witness would be a good one. Resto. Can block, flicker, try to kill. That's kind of all I can do. That's really upsetting as well, because Resto would have probably... Yeah, it would probably have won me the game. Yeah. This is promising in a way, because it might... If they get a little bit complacent and tap below... Yeah, so... Tap below using food mana, basically. They have to elk my resto and hold 1 shadow back now. Assuming this doesn't represent something. Let's see if they notice. Yep, they have noticed. Oh, that's way worse. Have to do this. And still just praying. It's not good enough. So there we are. I missed that they could do that. I always forget that part of Oko, the -5, unless like I've stolen it and then I get really excited. Can't imagine they can ever beat Blood Moon in a million years. And is Eidolon good? Probably not. Nahiri probably is. I think I'm pretty heavy on the Blood Moon plan. And Eldritch just feels so bad if it gets stubbed. But then I need them for getting the early Magus. We'll try that. Yeah, if you sack something, especially something other than a voice, like it's not so upsetting when it's a voice because you generally get a bigger thing out of it. Okay, we'll give it a whirl. It's not got any sideboard cards, but it's a generically good Kiki Chord hand. As if that can exist. Ivan is tanking. They either have a difficult mulligan decision or they're just not paying attention. I'm going to get a basic forest because I intend to Blood Moon at some point. Usually in these scenarios you just take the witness to stop the player witnessing back whatever you took, which is what they've done. Birds are a lot worse than nobles here, because if I was hitting for 4 a turn in the air, that would be a genuine clock. Make the obvious play, because I have to. Just pass. Obviously, the hope is that they... well, there's two good things that could happen. They could either cast a Thoughtseize and we can play the Resto in response so they don't get anything, but they take 2. Or they could maybe make an Oko and we could end step cast Resto. Plague Engineer. Sad face. We're getting badly beaten here. And what's particularly annoying is like my out of casting Kiki Jiki next turn doesn't exist with the Windswept Heath, because I can fetch Sacred Foundry, but then my only other fetchable red source is a basic mountain. So the idea of just luck sacking a win doesn't seem to be happening. I will gladly take 2, assuming they attack. There's no point in them not attacking, because my only attacker has flying. And I suppose the best thing we can see from here is just like hand disruption or something. Like hopefully they fire off an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize. See my empty hand. We could still just draw Blood Moon, really fuck them up. That's a good one. Perfect. So 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. If I attack, that's 14. They've got 15, 16, so they can definitely kill me. So I think my option is to try to trade with Plague Engineer, which is pretty nasty. Yeah, we're not winning, are we? Being realistic. Now I'm just chumping Death Shadow because they have the ability to lose 5 life, which puts it to... It would be... They'd be on 3, it would be 10 power, so yeah, I have to chump. It's alright, we'll draw Wrath of God. We've got double white. Solid performance from the opponent's deck there. Tough to argue with that. Can you beat this? I highly doubt it. This is letting them know they're in a scrap, you know? I probably should have just conceded, but it's sending an important message that they can't just bully people with their good decks and good cards. Oh, we died. I'm sad now. Well, the results speak for themselves, don't they? Don't play Kiki Chord if you want to win, but do play it if you want to have a giggle. I genuinely thought we were going to beat Prowess at one point. That hope faded fast, but apart from that, we just got fucked up, haven't we? Anyway, that's fine. We expected it. It's all good. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.